evening. I'm Chris Nachkate. Welcome to APTN National News. Thank you for joining us. A First Nation from Alberta held a press conference in Ottawa on Monday on the eve of the Carney government's first budget. They called on the federal government to reject a proposal that would see toxic tailings from the oil sands released into the environment. The Mikisew Cree First Nation was joined by representatives of the Treaty 8 First Nations of Alberta and the Assembly of First Nations. First Nations in Northern Alberta have long complained that oil sands tailings are linked to higher cancer rates. The Alberta government is examining a proposal that would see these tailings treated and then released into the environment. Mikisew Cree First Nation Chief Billy Joe Tuckero said he understands the Carney government is interested in national projects, but he will not allow them to be done at the expense of his people.
We're not going to take it sitting down anymore. This is the fight of our life. And as one of my elders told me last week, if they're going to allow treat and release, they might as well just come and shoot us all now. We're not taking this lightly. If we have to shut down Highway 63, we will. If we have to be the first First Nation to be charged with the Critical Infrastructure Act, we will.
The purposed out-of-court settlement between Hydro-Quebec and the Innu Nation, called the Ecological and Reconciliation Agreement, to end a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit launched by the Innu Nation in 2020 against Hydro-Quebec, has failed after a lack of voter turnout. The three-day vote to ratify a settlement with Hydro-Quebec failed to meet the required 50% voter turnout from each Innu community of Natwashish and Shishashit. The proposed settlement was to be compensated for the destruction of the traditional Innu lands from the hydroelectric Churchill Falls project. The agreement included $87 million over 16 years to be shared with both communities and to work together on future projects such as the proposed Gull Island hydroelectric project, which is located on sacred Innu lands. Jack Atchis from the Shishashit First Nation and says the lack of vote is a no vote.
I feel it's a very intrusive insult, and to have a company to degrade us like that and say, we're going to take over Labrador and there's nothing you can do about it. No, there is something Innu can do about it. And when time comes, the radical of the Innu will be very dramatic, and then it will be so that the people will make a statement, and it will be a powerful statement, I do believe.
A 5-year-old girl from Sucker Creek First Nation in Northern Alberta is still in hospital nearly 3 weeks after being attacked by stray dogs. APTN's Chris Stewart spoke to her mother and her sister about what happened, and a warning, some of the images in this story are disturbing.
Camila is autistic and nonverbal. On the afternoon of October 14th, her mother Ashley, sister Eve, and Eve's friend Zoe were outside their home at Sucker Creek doing lawn work. Ashley needed to use the washroom and told her daughter to watch over Camila. The girls were playing with new puppies. Ashley says she returned and noticed Camila was missing. The three began a frantic search. Ashley's sister and her friend found Camila being attacked by 3 dogs, including 2 German Shepherds.
Zoe grabbed Camila's shoes and threw it at the dogs, and then I started running, and then I got to her, and then Zoe knocked on the neighbor's door, and then I picked up Camila and I brought her inside.
Camila suffered extensive wounds over her body.
Her legs from the knees to her thighs and her urinary area was completely open, bleeding, and I mean, like, some of the gashes in her legs, like, they were physically eating her.
She called 911 3 times, but the call kept dropping. A friend drove them to a hospital in nearby High Prairie. From there, she was airlifted to the Stollery Children's Hospital in Edmonton and underwent emergency surgery. Thankfully, there is some good news.
By the grace of Creator, every single hole in her leg was a millimeter away from nerves, a millimeter away from major arteries. She will have full function of her legs.
Days later, Camila received a skin graft.
It was looking good for the 5 days after the skin graft, but not yesterday, but the day before. The surgeon came and talked to me and told me that the skin graft was infected, so it's not taking. The first plan of action is just to get rid of the infection, and then we will be looking at more surgery.
APTN contacted Sucker Creek First Nation and were told they would not comment as an active investigation is ongoing. They have announced a program to register and collar dogs on the reserve. They confirmed at least 2 of the 3 dogs have been put down. Ashley says strays need to be dealt with.
There has been other attacks. There was a woman who was attacked this summer. She was attacked. She had to get surgery, I believe, in Grand Prairie. She's an elder as well. She was walking to the band office.
There is a GoFundMe set up to help with expenses for the family. Chris Stewart, APTN National News, Edmonton.
In Manitoba, the Southern Chiefs Organization held its 3rd annual Veterans Day Summit over the weekend, and our TR Wheatley attended the event and brings us this story.
These veterans were honored at this summit for the sacrifices they made while protecting their country. The 3rd annual event, called Look How Far We've Come, is hosted by SCO, the Southern Chiefs Organization.
Identifying and reducing systemic barriers.
That's Justin Woodcock. The 8-year Army and Navy veteran runs SCO's Veterans Program, offering traditional wraparound support year-round to roughly 200 First Nations men and women.
We provide assistance with veteran affairs claims, monthly cultural workshops and events, peer support events, and we do advocacy for veteran issues at all levels of government.
A big topic here.
I apologize to every CAF member, veteran who experienced racism.
The Canadian Armed Forces, or CAF, made an official apology in Ottawa last week. It brings mixed feelings for many in this room, including Joseph Mott of Skownan First Nation.
I did 6 years, but I signed for 20 years. But some issues came up. They said bye-bye. July of 1985. I consider myself one of the bravest. I went to Europe for 4 years, standing toe-to-toe with the Russians. I wasn't scared to die for Canada, and a lot of us still feel that way. Many of us, like there still are people joining in droves.
On top of compensation, many here want to see CAF provide financial support to seek traditional healers, something Master Warrant Officer Robert Brown heard loud and clear.
How we do this moving forward.
The Mistawasis Cree Nation band member was this year's keynote speaker. Brown's been in the military for 32 years and currently works closely with some of the most senior-ranking military members, a role that he takes seriously.
I would say the opportunity to make change, and have the ability to kind of provide that education, the ability to, focus on that reconciliation, and just to bring awareness in the best way that we can to leadership.
But for many veterans in this room, they say that change needs to come soon.
They never got to see this apology.
Saying too many veterans have died before getting what was owed to them for the sacrifices they made. TR Wheatley, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
Our Montreal reporter Savannah Craig is up next to show us part 1 of a 2-part series on the drug crisis in a Mi'kmaq community in eastern Quebec. We'll be right back with that story. Thanks for staying with us. Opioid overdoses have been increasing across Canada. Latest Stats Canada data shows First Nations people out west are 3 times more likely to die from an opioid overdose. In this 2-part series, our reporter Savannah Craig takes us into the Mi'kmaq community of Listagouche in eastern Quebec. People there are still mourning the loss of an 18-year-old girl.
She didn't deserve what happened to her. The drugs are a serious issue. It's been forever, it's ongoing, nothing is changing, nothing is stopping. It's just been the hardest struggle I've ever endured. She shouldn't have died that way. She could have gotten help. He's right, I can't get out of bed.
Right next to me is a sign commemorating the death of Savannah Metallic, who passed away in June of this year. It's a constant reminder that just 1 pill of fentanyl can kill.
She was born June 13, 2007 at 8 pounds, 9 ounces, 21 inches long.
Lacey Kondo shares memories of her daughter Savannah. For many in the community, including Lacey, Savannah's death represents a much larger issue: drugs in the community.
Nothing has been done as far as the drugs in our community. They're still selling the exact same pill that killed my daughter.
As a child, Savannah loved to dance.
She did pom-pom, she did hip-hop, she did ballet, she did all of it.
She became a teenager that loved children, with aspirations to one day become a mom.
And this is her again, always holding somebody's baby. Twins.
Savannah had a bubbly and caring personality.
She's just happy to make people happy. That was one thing that she really loved to do.
Now her mother carries her everywhere.
And this is our matching tattoo. Her and I have the same tattoo. She got that 4 days before she passed. And this one was a gift.
That's very nice.
Yeah, so it opens up and it's her face.
It's close to your heart.
Close to my heart. Everywhere I go, she's with me.
Lacey says Savannah was 5 months sober after going to rehab, but says her daughter ended up with the wrong crowd.
If they would have just called 911, she would still be here, she would be alive. I had to go in there and see my daughter. Cold, stiff, blue lips, blue feet, foam coming out of her mouth, blood coming out of her nose.
I spoke with people on and off camera who said the issue of drugs in the community is one of the biggest issues in Listagouche. Departments in Listagouche do not collect the rates of opioid overdoses. Even Statistics Canada has very little data collected from First Nations.
I just want people to remember her kind heart.
Lacey believes not enough is being done in the community.
They're still selling the exact same pill that killed my daughter. Those are still on our streets. There's still, and there's a lot. It's just painful to watch. It's like a slap in the face every single day.
But other family members are looking for accountability too, including Savannah's great aunt, Anita Metallic.
Nobody knows how to deal with this. It's like communities are struggling everywhere, like Hamilton, Cross Point. They're dealing with it.
If you sold a pill to someone and they died, you need to be held accountable.
At one point they were threatening, like, oh, well, you got family members, so you know, you better calm down because they'll go after your family. Which kind of made it difficult for me.
Other community members told APTN News they're hesitant to speak out against dealers for fear of retaliation. APTN News reached out to the Listagouche Mi'kmaq government to understand how the council is addressing the issue. However, we did not receive a response to our request.
What's it gonna take? How many more people have to die? How many more children have to die?
Tune in to APTN National News tomorrow night to watch the second part, where we speak with the Listagouche Police Department.
One of the biggest challenges is that we're not enough officers. Every officer has one.
And we'll look at what needs to be done to reduce opioid-related deaths in Listagouche.
My mom, she's an addict. My dad was an alcoholic. To me, I feel like it's up to you to break the cycle.
Savannah Craig, APTN National News, Listagouche, Mi'kmaq First Nation.
And make sure to join us tomorrow night to watch the second part of Savannah Craig's story on the Listugush drug crisis. RCMP in the Northwest Territories say they made the largest cocaine bust in their history a week ago just outside Bechoko. On October 26, Bechoko RCMP stopped a speeding vehicle registered in British Columbia. During the stop, officers suspected the occupant was engaged in drug trafficking and he was arrested. Upon a further search, 6 vacuum-sealed packages weighing 6.4 kilograms were seized. 5.4 kilograms tested positive for cocaine and 1 kilogram was an unknown substance. 39-year-old Akashdeep Dillon of British Columbia has been charged with possession of a controlled substance for the purpose of trafficking. He appeared before a justice of the peace and has been remanded into custody. This remains an ongoing investigation. The federal government has announced funding for the Northwest Territories to aid in combating the ongoing drug crisis. Rebecca Alty, Minister of Crown Indigenous Relations and MP for the Northwest Territories, announced that over $1.6 million is going to the territory through the Emergency Treatment Fund. $900,000 will be put towards Yellowknife's Enhanced Street Outreach Program, which will expand the program's ability to connect vulnerable people to housing and social supports. The other $800,000 is for the Satu Harm and Reduction and Support Program, which uses traditional cultural teachings to prevent addiction and overdoses in Satu communities. Minister Alty highlighted the importance of both programs in combating the ongoing drug crisis.
These programs save lives, and as a government, we're proud to support the people doing this essential work. We also know there's no one-size-fits-all solution. Every community is different, and no one can face this alone. That's why we'll keep working together with Indigenous partners, all levels of government, and local organizations to find the right solutions for each community. Thank you again for being.
Photo of the day and weather is up next, plus our Sarah Connors will show how holograms are being used to preserve oral traditions. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Time now for our photo of the day. Winnipeg playwright Ian Ross found a way to incorporate his own life circumstances into his Halloween costume, dressing up as a bearded dread pirate. Thanks to his daughter Julia for sharing the picture with us. We would love to see more Halloween photos and any other photos featuring veterans as we approach Remembrance Day. So send us those photos to share@aptn.ca. Time now for tomorrow's weather forecast. In Fredericton, +8 and sunny. Halifax, sunny and 11. Cartwright, showers and 4. Happy Valley, Goose Bay, 5. Montreal, 10 and sunny. Saint Jovite, 8. Ottawa, 12. Sault Ste. Marie, 9. Timmins, +7 and partly cloudy. Sioux Lookout, 6. Puckatawagan, 4. The Paw, 4. Princess Harbour, 9. Winnipeg, 8. 11 in Regina. Saskatoon, 9. Meadow Lake, +7. La Ronge, +4. High Level, -2. Peace River, 3. Calgary, 6. Edmonton, +9 and sunny. 10 in Vancouver. Kamloops, 4. Dease Lake, -2. Smithers, +2. Old Crow, -16. Beaver Creek, -7. -8 in Norman Wells. Yellowknife, -8 as well. -22 in Sax Harbor. Polituck, -14. 0 in Chesterfield. Baker Lake, -5. And Igloolik, -3. Iqaluit, -1. It's no secret that the number of fluent speakers is declining, and with them, generations of language and cultural knowledge are at risk of being lost. Now, a First Nation in northern Yukon is turning to innovative technology to preserve their language, teachings, and culture. And as APTN Sarah Connors tells us, part of that new project is turning elders into holograms.
Nacho-Nayakdun elder Walter Peter never imagined he'd see himself as a hologram. Yet here he is, watching a nearly life-size 3D version of himself.
What did you think when you saw yourself for the first time?
How'd that work?
In Peter's small home community of Mayo, Yukon, about 400 kilometers north of Whitehorse, this kind of technology was once unimaginable. But now it's being used to help preserve language and culture for future generations with just the tap of a finger.
Check out different elders as they're...
lots of fun, long time ago. And all that stuff there. We put into hologram, I put in hologram in a way so people would know. I didn't believe in that.
The holograms are part of Kwanda-Gundo, a new joint 3-year project between the First Nation of Nacho-Nayakdun, Carleton University, and the Office of the Commissioner of Indigenous Languages. Its name means to keep the fire burning in Northern Shoshone. The project entails recording elders' stories, oral histories, and traditional crafts. There's even a virtual reality game where elders voice animals, helping guide learners on a language journey.
What we've done is we've taken our elders' voices. Walter, who you did an interview with, he is the crow in this story.
The First Nations Heritage Manager says with elders passing on, it wanted to find a way to safeguard its culture and language.
We've only got about 6 fluent speakers left in the community, and you know, if we don't capture that, then we lose it.
Sometimes we go swimming in the river.
The idea to use a holopresence machine to capture Nacho-Nayakdun's culture literally came to life thanks to a working partnership with Carleton University. Sampson admits some elders were skeptical of the project at first, concerned that their sacred traditional knowledge would be up for grabs for anyone to access. But the project is only available to Nacho-Nayakdun citizens, and right now, the holopresence housed at the First Nations Government Office.
People are understanding more of what it is that we're trying to do, and it's been an overall, I would say, success in people are engaged and they want to participate. That's preserving the cultural side of things.
The project is still growing. More cultural activities will be added, including the use of AI to preserve the Northern Shoshone language. AI will eventually be used to help with language learning and even construct new vocabulary. The Carleton professor helping lead the project says Notchonayaktwan's unique Northern Shoshone dialect isn't readily available for AI to learn from just yet, and his students are now digitizing language materials to help make that happen.
Then once that is all gathered together, then AI can learn how to, what is Northern Shoshone, how does it work, what are the grammar rules, and eventually learn to speak.
Citizens can also access the project online, though holopresence makes the experience a lot more immersive. No matter how citizens choose to access it, the goal isn't to replace traditional language learning, but to complement it.
You cannot pack those things around the bush. You got to learn up here, you got to keep it up here.
Once the project is complete, its model will be made publicly available so other Indigenous communities around the world can create their own. For Peter, the best way to preserve his culture is to share it.
They've all gone, I'll be sitting there today.
Sarah Connors, APTN National News, Mayo.
And that's your evening newscast for this Monday, November 3rd. We're back for your daytime newscast tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. From all of us at APTN National News, hi miigwech masi chokwana. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again next day.